Hey, look, hey, what's up? What's going on, right? Today's video, we're gonna talk about endurance, right? Having endurance through your, situations, right? Today, excuse me. Today, I just really feel like God is, just molded me to have patience and have faith within these situations that I get put in. Today, we don't really have all the staff that we supposed to have on the floor, right? So we're down, we're down in staff. So that means the people that are there, we have to pick up the slack, right? Now, here's the thing, right? With that being said, like, man, with that being said, it's just like, I love my people. I love my people. Not even just change the topic or change the subject, but it is what it is, bro. Like, it is what it is. That's just how I feel, It is what it is. Am I tired? I'll be lying if I said I wasn't tired, I'm tired. You can probably hear it in my voice, bro. I'm tired, but, the day must go on. It must go on. The show must go on. You ever heard of that? The show must go on, So when it comes to these situations that, perceivably be, hard up front, the show the show must go on. It's either you're going to take the route of, I'm gonna fight to the end. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep being consistent. I'm gonna keep showing up. I'm gonna keep bringing that energy, right? Or you just gonna have that type of energy like, I give up. I'm done. I'm not gonna let this person woody woo. Hey man, you gotta let the Lord fight your battles, man. Let the Lord fight your battles, man. I'm not, I don't want to argue with nobody. It's never my first intentions when it comes to, conversating with somebody. It's never to argue. It's always to try to resolve, not even resolve, because I wouldn't even want it to be some type of tension there. But it's always to just, have a peaceful conversation, even crack a couple jokes, even laugh, It's never on, some type of time where it's like, okay, it's up and it's stuck when I see you, or it's never that, right? Like, if you meet me, I'm literally so calm. I'm so I'm what they call it, an introvert. I'm very the only reason it would perceivably be like, oh, you're like, because people like talking to me, people like messing with me, not like not like in a way like, oh, I'm trying to bully you. No, people just like conversating with me. So it's like, with me knowing that they want to conversate with me, like, I give them the conversation. Step out of your box, step out of your comfort zone, and I'm gonna conversate, why not, right? But what I'm starting to notice is, I'm really starting to have, great patience. And I just thank the Lord, just removing certain behavioral patterns that I used to have, like, I just really just thank the Most High for it, because it's like you reach a certain, here's the thing, right? This is where people misjudge people at, right? People associate maturity with age, right? And it's an illusion. Let me explain why it's an illusion, because it's like, you can have somebody fucking, excuse my language, but you can have somebody, very up there in age, and they can just be immature, childish behavioral patterns, childish mannerisms, just childish, right? And you could have somebody that's young and, you know, they present themselves at such a high level. It's like they kind of force you to respect them, and it's not like they, you know, bring some type of, you know, hood demeanor or hard demeanor or anything regarding that, right? But they're just very, you know, they're just very mature, right? Even when it comes to my maturity, like people mistake my patience, people mistake my genuinity for weakness, right? But I already know this, but I'm not bothered by it. Like, I'm not bothered by it because it's like, I'm not gonna let you get me like acting in a certain way, or I'm not finna put on no show for nobody. My whole objective is to make this money, pay these bills for my family, pay these bills for the family that I'm trying to create, and just, you know, stack and just put forth a better effort when it comes to building what I'm trying to build, right? So I don't have time. I don't have time to complain. I don't have time to cry. Like, when I say cry, I don't have time. I just don't I don't have time to waste, bro. What I want is what I want, right? I want a constructive family orchestrated and built, you know, with the principles and law statutes of the Bible. Excuse me. That's what I want. That's how I want to build my families, right? That's how I want it. Right? My mind is already made up, you know. Now, like I said, it's, you know, it's the Lord's will if, you know, if it be done. Because some people, you know, maybe some people, it's just not their destinies for that to, you know, be it. And I understand that. And, you know, I'm spiritually mature enough to understand that, and I praise the Lord for it. But I just want, like I said, you know, my will don't matter, right? Like I you know, I just want the Lord's will to be done and executed each and every day, right? So as far as what I want, you know, it really don't matter. You know, I want the Lord's will to be done each and every day. So if that's not my path, if that's not my destiny, then who am I to argue with my Creator? Who am I to argue with my Father? Can't get mad about it. It's just, it is what it is, right? I'm not going to get upset about it or anything like that, but I just really thank the Lord for him growing me in the spirit, and just me looking at how I used to act and looking at how I act now. Like, I'm just most definitely appreciative when it comes to me dwelling in this understanding that I got right now, you know. I'm just grateful, you know. But like I said, you know, hey, look, if you're watching this, have endurance, man. You know, have endurance out there. Have patience to deal with your situations and trials and tribulations that you do have. And don't handle them with your emotions off the bat, because that's how a lot of people get put in jail. Because they respond, they react very emotionally, and you make that decision that you can't change. So don't put yourself in a situation like you can't control yourself as a man or as a sister, and then you end up putting yourself in a situation where you can't see your family ever again. But you know, that's the trap that they put into, you know, that's the trap and the propaganda that they instill into these social media platforms. You know, you gotta be the hardest, don't never back down. Sometimes you just gotta let majority of the times, it's just my opinion as far as when it comes to, you know, letting people misuse you, or, you know, don't play with, you know, people, just letting people misuse you and mistreat you and things regarding that, man. Just let the Lord handle them, man. You know, your little punch that you might give, you know, ain't nothing like what the Lord can potentially do for that person for wronging you. You know, it's not like you sitting up there saying, you know, I want the Lord to, you know, kill this person off, but it's just, don't nobody got your back like the Lord. So that's what I'm in this video off, you know what I'm saying?